Hi everyone. Today I'm going to answer another question from you, the lovely audience. Please keep the question coming always. We're going to talk about Lewis, and he told me that he sent like 400 applications to Swiss companies over the last, I'm presuming, couple of weeks or maybe months. And while he got some really good interviews and some really good feedback on his interviews, he ended up getting zero actual job offers, which of course can be quite frustrating. I'm sure many of you out there are facing similar problems at the current developer job market. But I also have to say, congratulations, you're really putting in the work, Lewis. I'm not sure if I've actually sent 400 applications for developer jobs in my life. So that's an impressive number. So let's dive in a bit what I think could be wrong here. And I have to say that we didn't have a very deep conversation. I went a bit back and forth on WhatsApp, but I think there's some common problems that might be at play here. So problem number one, very often we developers are just applying to the wrong companies or the wrong roles. This might have a number of reasons. So the company might just be window shopping. Similar to how developers often just look what's on the market, even though they're not in any urgent need of a new job. Or it might be also a different reason, like they might initially say, okay, we want to have this new team, and then 2 weeks later they change their opinion, and then of course they end up not hiring anyone, or many other different reasons. It doesn't really matter, but for some reasons a company might not be actually very serious about hiring somebody at all, or about hiring somebody very soon. They might be looking for the best possible candidate to appear within the next 12 months. All of these reasons are really bad for you. You should ideally not apply to these companies, or at least not very much. Instead, maybe you can do it for practice or something, but from the very beginning, the chance of landing a job in such a situation, it's quite low. So you really want to avoid these situations and at least not spend too much time on it. Problem number two, you might actually be applying with kind of the wrong skills. Of course, it pays off to be a senior, a lead in something that you've done for, 10 years or even 3 years. But at some point, basically, you will reach a peak where you're really good at it, but this role is just no longer needed, or not needed that much, because the tech stack is falling out of fashion, or the focus is just moving to something completely different for a couple of years. And sure, yeah, maybe someday it will come back, but if that's like in 5 to 10 years, what are you going to do in the next 5 to 10 years, right? You have to go with the market a bit. For example, if you're a mobile developer, mobile is falling out of fashion a bit now. It's like all the new and hot stuff, it's just not really happening in mobile that much. Or if you're a PHP developer and you want to apply for a job in Switzerland, also not really a good combination, because there's not so many companies in Switzerland who actually use PHP. So no matter how good you are, your chances are already bad of landing a job in that field in the beginning, because there's going to be so much competition, so many other people out there, also from the EU. You're just going to have a bad chance. There's going to be 10 other candidates who are really good, who they really like. Your chances of getting the job are low from the very beginning. So that you should also avoid. And there's basically two things you can do. Either apply to a different company, or you can apply to companies in different countries where that tech stack is more popular. Or of course you can learn something new, which takes time, but it's better to start now instead of delaying and then in a year or so you still have the same problem. You still have the wrong or disadvantages skill sets, and you're still getting nowhere. Problem number three, your presentation, especially with roles where there is significant competition, something that's not super brand new, where only 3 people apply, but instead where 100 people apply, out of which maybe 10 are actually good applicants. Your presentation in all stages of the process, it needs to be really good. Your CV needs to be really good and adjusted for that specific job application. Your LinkedIn, equally, it needs to be really good. It needs to also focus on where you want to go, not just on your past. Like, even if you've done something amazing in the last 10 years, if that's not what you want to do next up, you need to adjust it for the future, not the past. And then similarly with interviews. Interviews are something you can practice, and you could get external help for it. And very often this pays off. So you deliver the best possible performance in the interview. What can you practically do to fix these problems I talked about? Fix number one, I suggest, is from the very beginning, try to find out how serious as a company and also how urgent is a company about hiring someone. The best way is to figure out the contact person, talk to them. They will usually tell you. Maybe sometimes they will not be so explicit, but usually you're going to get a good feel of, are they actually very serious or are they just potentially looking? And is it urgent? Do they want to hire somebody now or do they want to hire somebody in 6 to 12 months? I've seen both, and you'd be surprised how transparent they often are. They will often actually tell you, hey, we're looking to, let's say, replace somebody, but they're not leaving immediately. They maybe haven't even like fully resigned or something. So you already know this is not something where you should place your bet on, because your chances of getting the job are low, no matter how good the process will go for you. The second thing you can do is figuring out earlier on in the process, is this the right country and of course also the right company that I'm applying to with the skill set, or should I maybe find a new combination, like apply to different countries / companies, or adjusting my skill set. For example, if you're doing PHP in Switzerland, you're going to have a very bad start from the very beginning because not so many companies do PHP in Switzerland. Your chances are low of getting the job. The pay isn't going to be good, no matter how good you are. If instead you do something that's brand new, like AI and machine learning topics, your chances are going to be much better from the very beginning. So carefully think about whether you either might want to go to a different country, or maybe it's better to spend some time in learning something brand new, because your competition might not be so qualified either, right? You're new to this, but so will everybody else be in something that's only been out for, let's say, a year, like a new framework in AI. And then finally, in terms of presentation, your CV, your LinkedIn, your interviews, and so on, you can practice all this, and often pays off to get external help, because there's people who can teach you all of this, and it will practically always pay off to work on this, because you're going to underestimate how valuable this is, and you're probably going to overestimate how good you're already at this. Getting help, it's less expensive most likely than you think, and it will probably give you like thousands, 10,000s more over the course of 1-2 years. So it's always going to pay off to get external help about presenting yourself in the right way in the job search process. As always, I'm curious what you guys have to say. Did any of this resonate with you? Do you have similar problems? Do you have very different problems in finding a job as a software developer in Switzerland or even another country? Please let us know in the comments. I'm curious and I'm happy to help. If you want to dive in deep, there is one-on-one coaching. We can work on all your various challenges in finding a developer job individually if you want to get the fast lane. Otherwise, if you like this video, I'd really appreciate if you click that like button. And of course, if you want to see more of this and don't want to miss a minute, then click not only the subscribe button, but also the alarm bell so you get a notification next time. See you in the next video.